the wind was going everywhere. I mean, we're sitting here completely flabbergasted, but finally it died down. I caught the underwear. We looked each other in the eyes, and we realized there's some things you should not try to do in a hurricane.
Wow, talk about Florence and the Machine.
Moving on up.
Anyway, as you can see, we got power here in North Carolina, so life is good. Well, at least in my part of North Carolina, so we're good.
We're glad. Very glad to hear. Very glad to have you here tonight. How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday to all of you beautiful collectors out there. And we're Figure Action back again. We're a newish podcasting, or a newish collecting podcast, not a podcast collect. We are a part of a vast collection of podcasts out there.
What was that sound?
Yeah, that was like my '90s teen sitcom TGIF. Oh boy, noise.
Whoa!
Can you let us know before you do that again?
Yeah, I will. I'll have to fill out a form so it doesn't happen anymore. Don't do that thumbs up ever again. If you're listening to this podcast right now, you're blessed. You didn't have to suffer through that thumbs up. But yeah, oh yeah, the finger comes in. The joys of video podcasting. So anyway, thanks for joining us. If you're listening to us live, thanks for joining us, and be sure to participate in the chat. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so when you find out not only when our show's going live, but when we have other things going on the channel. Adrian, of course, has been posting some really cool stuff. T-Man's had an exclusive. And maybe I need to actually stop being lazy and put something on there. And of course, if you want to catch up with us, our entire catalog of shows is available on YouTube. You can always listen to us on Podbean, the iTunes, and Google Play stores. Anyway, without much further ado, let's go ahead and run down the panel, find out how everybody is doing tonight. Adrian, welcome back. You had some fun adventures in Japan. How you doing, man?
Dope. It was awesome, man. I could honestly live there easily. I probably spent too much money, but otherwise it was good.
You had some hauls. I'll give you that. I was enjoying.
Sorry,
Dave, you cut out there.
He seemed to have moved on from it.
He's gone. Yeah, but it was really good. I highly recommend it for anyone. We went with 2 young kids, and it's fine. Like, really manageable, right? Really good.
The kids were yours, right?
No, we found them at the airport, but they became ours.
You just said you went with 2 young kids. It made it sound kind of suspect.
I think, yeah. Look, we've changed their names. They dyed their hair. It's all good. One's still alive. Anyway, they were really they were really good. I dragged them along to every fucking toy store there is in Tokyo. Like, I want to say over 30 stores.
Nice.
And they were good about it. They fucking loved it.
Did they have any good hauls?
My son's got really bad taste in Transformers, so he got the Hasbro Hot Rod Convoy thing. It's revolting. The thing where the legs become the arms.
The
Prime Master.
Is that what it is? It's so bad. It goes from like Hot Rod
Power to Prime.
Power the Primes, yeah.
Powder Prime. Yeah, he got that. And what else did he get? I tried to get him. There was like a cool. Their Sofubi is huge over there, which is like soft vinyl, and they can be really, really, really expensive. Like the rare ones, you can buy a car for that kind of money, and the cheap ones are super cheap. Oh yeah, yeah. There are some rare like Godzilla monsters made, sculpted by the guy who did the suit for the movie. They look shit, but the colors are dope. And they go for a fortune, like, 10 grand US, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I took photos. I'll make a little video. But, so I tried to get him into soft vinyl because I don't want to collect it. I don't have room for it, but I think it's cool. So I was trying to push it on him, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got a bunch of Hasbro.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is.
I love Hasbro.
I do. That's the thing is 75% of my haul this week was Hasbro.
Yeah, but if you're in Japan in stores where you can walk into a brick and mortar store and they've got a full double-sided aisle of third party and you're buying Hasbro, yeah.
That's good.
Like everything I've ever seen on the market was there on the shelf.
I can only imagine. I was immensely jealous, and man,
go. It doesn't cost that much. You got to go.
I just go there and eat the food.
The food's great, man. You can eat like our whole family. If you eat like the locals and you line up for those, you can't. They don't accept money anywhere. They've got machines, and you pay the machine. The machine spits out a ticket, and then you give them the ticket. Right. Even in places where you pay cash, you've got to put the cash down on in a little plate, and then they'll take it. So they won't take it directly.
I'm allergic to fish and shellfish. Would I survive?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
you just got to let them know. They speak pretty good English, and you can we ate family of 4 eating like locals, the equivalent of $12 American for all 4 of us.
Dang.
Yeah, it's really not.
You have a lot of tapas style. In Japan, it's mostly chicken, fried chicken, stuff like that, and it's good to rest in a restaurant after a long trip walking in Japan. And Tokyo is good for that. You have a lot of restaurants, but Osaka is better for the food.
Yeah, I've heard that. But we got a couple of friends over there. One of them's like a local artist. Another one's like a tattoo artist. And they took us to little towns like an hour out of Tokyo or 45 minutes out of Tokyo, where each town is famous for a different food. And that's fucking dope.
Wow.
Yeah. They're like sleepy little towns and every restaurant serves the same thing. It's really weird. Yeah. Anyway, that's me.
It's on my bucket list, man. It's on my bucket list.
Do it. The ticket will be expensive to fly there. The hotel won't be too bad if you go during like the same season I went when it's really hot, because no one goes. And then the food and toys while you're there are cheap.
I'd probably take out a mortgage just to.
No, you don't need to.
You're already trying to take out a mortgage.
Exactly. Some money to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Overshoot the mortgage so you can go include Japan in there. Because I tell you, like, for example, my last little thing before I let it go, I was buying this is why I bought so much Soul of Chogoking. I was buying SOC, brand new in package, models that aren't out anywhere else anymore for less than $100 US.
Which one you get?
I got a whole list. Are we doing hauls now or later?
We'll get the hauls. We'll get the hauls.
We'll get to that. We'll get there. All right. I'll let you guys go. Anyway, I'm good. Thanks.
Next on the panel, True Star Streamer.
You get this one.
Oh, he has that one.
John. Oh God. What shelf dived?
That makes me.
I have to sold a lot of my Chogoking because I was complete list 3 times the collection.
Whoa!
Wow.
3 times.
Yeah, I sold a lot.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, I keep the full line with all special and limited. I just keep the ships because for me the ships are not they are off topic, but
I don't like the ships either. They're nice in person, but no point. Different scale. It's a different thing. They should give it a different name.
Yeah, I just got yesterday the special colored Mazinger Z, the SP version.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not matte colors, but it's very flat, and it's cool. It's a cool.
I saw it in person. It's really nice.
Too expensive.
I want the Mazinger Z. That's on my to get list.
Well, later on when we get to hauls and stuff, I'll give you guys some hints on where to buy them and save like 50%.
Ooh. True Starscream.
They will announce a new Soul of Chogoking soon, and also a new metal build figure.
I see the metal build Evangelion, the EVA 01 unit. That looks amazing.
I'm gonna buy that.
I didn't got the pre-orders because it was so fast. It was as hell faster than any Macross DX Chogoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of shop like Miami or Nippon Yazan where the server froze. They froze, so you can and even you got one in cart.
Still didn't matter.
Yeah. But it's gonna be on regular price in February, I think. So it just a rush on the pre-orders, but you can have it for a good price later.
Yeah, what happened actually with the Mazinger Z metal build figure will happen the same. When it's a really popular character, they overorder and Bandai overproduces because they know like even people who don't collect the franchise, the brand are going to want it for the franchise. They didn't unfortunately do it with Voltron. I don't know why, but they do it. They did it with Mazinger Z, and they'll do it with Evangelion. So you'll be able to later on get it at what they call a special price, which is just the pre-order price. It's just 2 months later.
Yeah, sometimes you have between the brand and the seller or the shop, you have a distributor, and they are holding the quantity to create like 1, 2, or 3 wave of pre-orders to rise the price. They are acting sometimes like scalpers, you know. And that's happened with the meta build, and sometimes with the DX Macross. And the price, for example, I thought that Nippon Yazan got a second wave of pre-orders, and it raised to $300. 300. That's crazy.
Yeah, look at Go Line.
They doubled the price in 1 or 2 days.
I look at mine every day.
Have you got Go Line as well?
Yeah, he does.
He held it up.
I'm gonna rob one of you. I've got a plastic one.
Well, our buddy True Starscreamer was signaling. Dave, are you good? How you doing, man? I know you're.
I'm good.
What was your son of a bitch moment?
Oh, I swear this show is cursed. I have something break almost every show now, it seems.
What broke on you?
This is actually a piece of third-party history that just broke on me.
Oh no!
A piece of way back before GCI Toys was GCI Toys. There was a guy on TF forums called Dr. Killinger for Killinger's Customs.
That's still Will.
I know, but I'm trying to be dramatic here. And his first product was a 3D printed shotgun based off Fan Toys' shotguns for Bruticus. Yeah. And that just shelf dove. This was hand painted, 3D printed, and a piece snapped off. And I'm gonna hopefully I might be able to try to reconstruct it. But
Loctite is your friend.
Yeah, that is good shit.
Well, it's 3D it's 3D printed plastic, so.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of 3D printed, I got to return to sender today for that piece. So I gotta put it. To sender. Address unknown. No, they were basically like inadequate postage. Do not reuse envelope. So I'm just gonna put it in a padded pack and just take it down to the post office tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, big thing in the week. Of course, I'm in North Carolina, so we had Hurricane Flo currently hanging around with us. So I'm just happy I've got power and internet. So
and we're happy you're here.
So there you go. That's my adventure this week so far.
Very cool. Parts, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Just chilling out and trying to stay awake. I'm so tired.
It's like you're up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I can't complain with our friend here being 3 a.m. But that's thank you for that.
Was it a long work week for you?
It was. It's been a long day. manual labor and all that. But
manual labor. I've been to your office.
I'm just. Oh no, I didn't work today. I work harder at home than I do at work.
Don't take off.
So no, I'm just bitching. I'm good. Hope you guys are good.
Glad to hear. T, how about you, man?
I am good. I'm feeling the same way he was feeling. Like before we started, I was sitting here like about to fall asleep. But y'all will hear me drooling and snoring during the show.
I thought I was under the impression you were playing Horizon Zero Dawn and eating Cheerios.
Oh yeah. That was later. Once you got here, I woke up again.
Okay.
But my week has been all right, except somebody bought. I sold my Masterpiece Sideswipe, and I mailed it on Thursday, and he didn't get it until today. And both of us are in Maryland, so that was a humongous annoyance.
Yeah.
Like, so when you said you're going to take whatever you're taking directly to the post office, take it directly to the post office.
Yeah, no, that's the plan. But it's a freebie I'm sending to Dave to complete his DX9 carry. So, it's something I over ordered and didn't need. And we have a special guest with us tonight. You may know him as Chogoking. Can we call you Liam tonight, or would you prefer to go by Chogoking?
I can say Le Jam is okay.
Oh, Le Jam. Oh, okay. I thought it.
I thought it was Liam.
No, Le Jam.
Le Jam.
It's coming from my graffiti status nickname.
Very
awesome.
Very cool. Well, we're very glad to have you here tonight. First off, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay. It's like 3 a.m. and I'm fresh. No, it's okay. I'm happy to meet you on this show. So it's the first time for me being on a stream live like that with all of you, and it's like for me extending the community. So and
yeah.
I can see with the all your background that you are also a maniac as a big huge collector. So I try to keep it clean, but I have a full basement. My basement is full because I changed my flat 3 years ago. It's smaller, but before it was like a wall of toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I can see you have a lot too.
I see a lot of room for shelf units behind your head there, buddy.
You can see beyond the computer, right? There are some.
I'm the same. Mine are on this wall.
If you're gonna display some MMC figures, you got to get on the same page as Decepticon.
Yeah, he has. Maybe he's one of the collectors with the pro shelves.
Yeah, I know. It looks like a studio. Less than a collection. It looks like a museum or a studio. It's
yeah.
Fantastic.
He made that very clean, very pro. And now he's I heard he moved from a new flat, but
yes.
Before I saw some pictures, he's having a highlight box with good stuff to take the pictures and the back shot. So it's good. Yeah. I didn't have had the chance to meet him, but we chat a lot, and he's a nice guy. Very pro.
Very cool. As for me, I've had a very good week. Had interesting developments with my job at work. I'm kind of having I wouldn't call it a George Costanza moment, but I'm having a George Costanza moment. For those of you that know me outside of the chat.
So you pissed in the shower?
Well, every day, my friend.
You walked in and it was really cold, and the water was cold?
No, that was in the pool.
Yeah. Tell us about your Costanza moment.
Well, so I reluctantly interviewed to be a team lead for the company I work for. For those that know me outside of the show, I work for a major energy company, and now I could be moving into management. And I'm not sure if I want to do it. But I absolutely killed the interview. and it's going to mean more money but more work, and it's one of those deals where I'm trying to weigh my options, but after talking to my girlfriend about it, I think I may move forward with it, because it is opportunity, and opportunity sometimes only comes once. So why not? In the words of Emgo, dare I say, why not? So we'll see. I'll keep everybody.
They're trying to go Eminem.
Yeah.
Did you hear his new song? Got a diss track.
I saw it, but I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah, it would have had to have been.
It was from Machine Gun Kelly, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was brutal.
I haven't listened yet. I'm going to check it out after the show.
So, eager to get into this interview. Let's just go down the panel one more time, and we'll do some hauls, and then we'll get into talking MMC and the exciting stuff. Going back to Adrian.
I'll be quick, I promise.
Okay.
It's been like 3 weeks since I was on the show, and I was in Japan, so there's a lot. Okay.
You just make it rain, toys.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'll go fast. Go Line Mini Plus. I had to write a list. Bandai SOC, I bought the Mecha Godzilla, the Big O, the Getter one from the DC series. The Grandizer from the DC series. There's a couple more I can't see. There's that full articulation one I got as well. And then from SH Monster Arts, I got the poster version Godzilla, King Ghidorah, 2000 Millennium Special Color version Godzilla, Space Godzilla, and the Figure Arts Twin Tails. And then from Worldscope, which is a new company out of Hong Kong, I really like them. I got their Daitetsu Jin 1-8, which is a big 13-inch guy, really well articulated, full of die cast. The articulation's amazing on both the things I got. I got that. T-Man's doing what I did last time I was on. The Daitetsu Jin 1-8 and the Steel Jig. Both of them are like 70s, late 70s anime characters. So they're probably 4 years before my time, but I still remember seeing them. But I love the toys. So they've got full butterflies forward and back. They can cross their arms. They can do everything. They've got full knee bends so they can kick their own butts, and they're amazing. And they hold any pose, full of die casts, and they're huge. So, yep. And then I got the Fantasy Jewel Blue Lion. So you all know I'm a massive Voltron fan, and I missed out on the SOC being in Australia and being sleepy about it. So I've been collecting this Fantasy Jewel stuff, and the first 2 lines, the red and green, were on point. Sculpt slightly different, materials the same, quality very similar. And so I was really excited that I'll have some representation until they do a redrop, which is inevitable.
Yeah.
And then the blue line came. It's so bad. It's like it
doesn't have a leg to stand on.
No, it has all 4 legs, but they're like pitted die cast shit. Oh man, it's so bad. Anyway, that's the end of my haul.
Yeah, you said it was almost like it was built by another company, right?
Absolutely. It looks like it was built 10 years earlier than the other 2.
Wow.
Ouch.
It makes you wish that they would just do a box set of the 5 lines together, And there's a lot of people that own the SOC Voltron where we could only get one and would like to have a display with the, the robot, the combined, and then, the individual lions. Yeah. And I think they're missing out.
I just want one set.
Moving on. True Star Screamer, what did you get this week?
As I said, weeks have been pretty light lately, but I got something pretty awesome. For those of you who follow me on Instagram at True Star Screamer, as well as on the Figure Action Podcast Instagram, you would have seen this little buddy rise up from the ocean and break into the feed. So,
there you go.
I have my Soul of Chogoking Dragon Caesar, or the Dragon Zord.
Did you get the black Megazord? I
did not. I got the regular Megazord. I I don't have display space for another Megazord.
Yeah.
Which also means I'm not going to get the Titanus that they just announced.
Oh,
but,
I'm getting the Titanus.
More power to you, man. But I am still very impressed with it. I mean, I've got this. I've got the Legacy, and the Legacy wasn't bad for what it is, and so I'm very pleased. And then also, as you guys know, but I have completed my first full repaint of a Marvel Legend.
Nice.
So I did the Silver Surfer, and I repainted him silver. I know, kind of redundant, but I figured, as I said, I couldn't screw this up. And this gave me a lot more admiration to a lot of the customizers out there. So, I mean, I did the whole thing of I broke them to all the pieces, popped out all the pegs. At first, I tried doing brush paint, which is absolutely horrible. So then I ended up getting a spray on. And yeah, I'm very pleased with him. He is now more glittery. He's not chromed, so he won't show fingerprints, but when I get him under spotlight, he'll actually look like he's glittering among the stars.
Your paint job really brings out the definition of the sculpt as well.
Well, that was one of the things I wanted to do. I did put a little bit of a black, did the dry brush on the abs and on the face and on the fingers just to kind of get those details out. Because Hasbro's been knocking them out with the sculpts as of late.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like how Black Series was kind of the same way as well. Black Series is finally catching up on the paint. Hasbro's almost there for their paints on the Marvel Legends. I mean, look at figures like Cable, perfect. That Omega Red, 99% there. I know I'm going to have to paint that Omega symbol. But
their faces are getting there.
Their faces are getting amazing. I mean, so yeah, so now I have 2 Silver Surfers, mine and the Hasbro one. And that is my crazy week so far.
Very cool. Parks, how about you, man?
I didn't get a damn thing this week. I was going to make a joke about my water bottle, but I don't even care. I got nothing.
What flavor was that? Grapefruit?
This is ginger lime.
Ginger lime. Oh, yeah.
You got a Hot Wheels.
It does articulate.
Nice.
So
the Parks here.
What's that?
Didn't he buy a car?
Oh, my son's got it right now. It was really for him, quote unquote.
That's boring.
There was I found a Hot Wheels DeLorean. Like, it wasn't a time machine model; it was an actual DeLorean. So I'd never seen that before. So I splurged on the $1 and got it.
All right.
But yeah, SOC.
There you go. All right, T, how about you? Did you get any this week?
Well, it wasn't this week. It was the previous week for this. But I got SH Figure Watch Thanos right here, finally.
He's pretty good.
That he is taking a major poop right there. Show that again. Yeah, man, that's
amazing.
I'm going to cheer him on. I'm going to say a prayer.
I'd love to do a poo like that.
I also
like how he has the collared armor.
Yes. Yeah, that's my favorite. I love the gold, but he has like no other shading detail besides his face. But it's not a big problem to me because I've seen a picture of somebody customized theirs, and it didn't look that good to me shaded up.
I think he looks great as he is. The only complaint I have with him is he doesn't have the snapping hand. He's got all the Infinity Gems. He's got the snapping hand for his regular hand, but he doesn't have one for the gauntlet. And I think that is the only thing I don't like about that figure.
It caused half your collection to disappear.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I got the Iron Man, the Mark 50, and my complaint was he didn't have like the swords or the air brakes, and now they're coming out with a special version of the Mark 50 with additional diecast and
different parts.
Weapon version.
And that's a Soul Web exclusive.
Tamashi Nation's exclusive. Great.
Besides Thanos, I got a couple of World of Nintendo figures, and according to my view counts, people don't care about World of Nintendo. but
the irony is, I haven't watched your Thanos review yet, but I have watched both of those World of Nintendo reviews.
and I love both of these. And I also found Studio Series Brawl.
Also, watch that review too. So I gotta see what your thoughts on Thanos are.
Yeah, but I think that's it. I don't know if I ever talked about this guy, this world's
You
smallest
talked about the stretch.
That's weird.
That's it.
There is a movie of Stretch Armstrong coming.
Oh,
yeah. Is there? Oh shit.
Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be naked?
Oh God, I hope not.
I don't know.
Why is that your first question?
It's gonna be a
Because this guy.
CGI movie.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be to have him stretch.
It's the same team as the studio is Boulder Media, which actually is doing the new Transformers series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a part of Hasbro now. They are in Ireland, and they have My Little Pony, I think, in production. They are coming with the Distress Samsung stuff, and they are thinking about G.I. Joe, I think.
G.I.
So
Joe
it's like
needs to come back.
stuff to sell toys.
But that's about G.I. Joe, I think it's just rumors.
They're supposed to have been doing a third G.I. Joe for a while. Now I don't know if they're going to do a reboot or keep it in the same continuity with The Rock.
I think they'll reboot.
It's going to go the same place as the third Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Speaking of naked, his blue trunks are starting to wear off because it's just paint.
I noticed that.
Just get rid of it.
Get rid of him naked.
Are you rubbing it?
Not on purpose.
And anyway,
you gotta add a little stretchy wiener
before I get to myself. Well, Jen, do you have anything? I know you got the MMC Magna. Did you get anything you'd like to talk about?
Sorry, come again.
I know you you said you got MMC Magna. Did you get anything?
Yeah, I just got samples this week, and weeks before I got the Magma. I've got this one. I've got my baby one. This is the one with the flat butt. Very slim.
Yeah.
Very sexy and athletic. He's not fat. Just got my heel on.
Yes, not so tall.
Black version last time during TFCon.
Nice.
But my recent haul is more. I've got the Magma, yeah. So I have the chance to fiddle with it during the Toronto TFCon. And now I got the real one from factory, and I was. I didn't, as you know, I'm mostly involved in OX line, like Perfection series and OX Remix. But I have some view on the reformatted line. And for example, on the very early discussion, we were talking about doing MP Skylinks, but we know that it was not doing MP Skylinks. Everything will come about the size, etc., etc. And so it was better to move that kind of character for the reformatted line, because like this special part, the tiger, the
links.
Yeah, it's, you can't fit it in a MP line because of the alt mode. Because okay, it can be a Panther like that, but if you turn to the vehicle, what can it be? A tank, a futuristic tank. So it's hard to put it in the MP line. So it was better to have it on the reformatted. And for the bird part, it's more easy because it's a shuttle, but the wall set is better on the reformatted. And having it in MP is like you have to double the size. So and size now is entirely in the discussion, especially with the combiners, etc., etc.
Yeah,
so he'd be bigger than Omega Supreme.
Sometimes having all the lineups can't be impossible. It's like you have to have compromise. So especially with that little one. So I have that little one.
That's your design, right?
Yeah, it's my design. And for about the, let me take out the. I'm also doing that stuff.
Oh,
The
you do
boxes.
the packaging as well?
All the line doing the packaging, the artworks.
Oh,
Wow.
We should probably take a quick second just to explain who we're actually speaking with here.
Well, we'll
That's
get to
true.
we'll get to the introduction after we get through Halls, but that's a facet that I had no idea you did it really soup to nuts. So we'll save that.
Nuts. I've never heard that.
Hey, that's an expression for doing it from scratch.
Really? Over here, it's when you wore hot pants on a summer's day.
Well, we'll use that as a jumping off point. I'll go over what I got real quick, and we'll go back to that point. We'll do our introduction for our guests. For those who don't know, and I want to go back. I want to go back to that discussion because that's really, really fascinating stuff.
It's fascinating, yeah.
For me, I also got the MMC Magna. I love this figure. Mine has a couple QC issues I'm trying to get fixed with the retailer. But otherwise, what's that?
What kind of issue you got?
I've got some paint chipping on the feet where there's a couple soft locking points, and my paint's chipping there a little bit. I've got most people tend to seem to have these minor stress marks on the tabs, which aren't an issue. But for mine, this head doesn't light up. I've got the LR41, so I'm trying to get that fixed. And I like this head more than I like the chrome one, to be honest. But
yeah, for any issue, you can message MMC and go first with the retailer. You know that MMC's.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I had issues with Alter Beta, and they sent me. Not only did they send me 2 replacement swords, they sent me an extra. It was really good. And not only that, when I bought my Furo Rex, my Bovis actually ended up having a weak combiner port. They sent me a brand new combiner port at no cost to me. So their internal customer service is fantastic. I own the bulk of the product line.
You know how I first met MMC?
How's that?
It was because I got a HOS Shockwave, you know, the big boat.
Oh yeah, the Hearts of Steel,
Yeah.
the steamboat. I love.
I break the waist because I didn't transform it well, and I broke the centerpiece because it was a small one. So I was very confused because I love the toy, and so I contact them and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I broke the piece. Can I buy you the piece?" And I say, "Oh no, I can send you one." Then we started the discussion. Then voila, it was good. But
Nice.
The service to the QC service is good at MMC to check what's happened with the toys, and they can send you the.
And I will say, out of all the third-party companies I deal with, I probably have the least amount of issues with any of their products. I'll just go through the last couple of things that I got. I got the Studio Series Voyager Ironhide, which is surprisingly good. And I also got the the Marvel Legends Crossbones versus Captain America. So light week for me as well. So we'll get into it. We've been kind of going around this. Our guest tonight is, and so as everybody knows at this point, you are a designer for MMC, and you work primarily on the Ocular Max series. Outside of Hellion, what other designs would folks know you for?
Sorry?
So outside of Hellion, the cliff jumper, what are some of the other figures that you've designed that our fans might know you for?
From the past release, I was mostly involved in the art direction, packaging, artworks, and give some different help on different figure. But my first full design was the Helion. It was my first run as a toy sculptor and modeler. So I got few stuff in the work. I will tell later.
Yeah, we have a reveal coming towards the end of the show. We'll reveal exclusively here.
Yeah. But now I try to move forward and more into the sculpt and less into other stuff because I'm a side. I'm also working for an animated studio, but now I try to move on and go mostly into toy design. So Hellion was my first try, and it was not easy due to the size, the small one. And we, as I mentioned before on other videos, uh, it was Hellion was designed under the V2 line. It, it, it was supposed to match with MP Bumblebee, and now with stuff like Inferno or the Sunstreaker, we have a new statement on the toys. Even Takara is moving fast now to the V3 line. You can see Haunt, how they, they put a lot of curves on the thighs. You have also the new convoy, the V3. It's very animated, but still have a lot of kibble in the back. But they are pretty moved to the to this new state of design.
Yeah, there's the emphasis on articulation.
Yeah, but for me, the good balance was the good example of balance is the Sunstreaker. It's still in the MP statement because it's a bit realistic. You can feel the alternators of Binaltech vibe, and they have the animation gimmick with the curves, the face sculpt, the flat design, but not all over. I think Inferno was a try to be very stumble, very contracted, less athletic. But this, I'm sure Takara put this a bit on hold because it was maybe too much, and they tried to have a good balance between the cartoon, the MP statement. So the balance is now on Sunstreaker, on the incoming convoys, and they try to be on that kind of medium. So that's companies like Mac Toys. They did also a good work on this one. You got some stuff that need to be covered on the face of this is other thoughts about that. But about the state of design here. They did a very good job because of the plain design. You can have small details, and when it turn into the alt mode, it's a realistic jet. So
it's very cartoon accurate.
It's cartoon accurate, and the balance is here, like here, and and it's like it's the same, but okay, you would tell me, the alt mode is a cassette, but it's the same we did on the remix line. It's very very cartoon to me because of the articulation, the posability, and the sculpt, the half plain, half realistic. So
it's like ab crunch is becoming a standard articulation point.
Thank God.
Yeah. This one got a lot of ab crunch. Yeah, it was about Helion. The big discussion was about the pilot feature, but it was a kind of challenge for us to have a very compact mode in for the transformation to come from the Chibi Race car to this one because it's 12 centimeters high, very hard because of the pin, because of the tolerance, etc. Small boats are very hard to even this one is easier to do. This one was a really hard to me to. It's really hard to. It was really hard to engineer and to
Yeah.
sculpt.
But you even worked
No.
out working. You even worked out working doors and an interior for the car. I mean, it's
I,
really
I
nice.
because of the interior, I stick to this episode, Dino Island. Yeah, I noticed you can have the water ski, and you have a talking cliff jumper in Altman, and you can see all the details on the dashboard, etc., etc. So I tried to give it a to give that details. For me, it was that kind of detail is the way of doing the masterpiece. But I'm very how can I say? Sorry, I'm French, so I try to find my English words at more than 3 a.m. But
That's okay.
It's
I
okay. We're
understand.
cultured.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Someone's got an echo bad.
so I'm very
Biggest
conscious
pity.
that the people are now moving to the cartoon, and even some people now are ready to drop on the transformation, uh, like figures coming from Flame Toys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh
the
yes.
kind of new deals for the 3P companies and also for the toy companies, because you can see that uh, I'm a huge stock Soul of Chogoking collector, and suddenly Sentinel came from high posability toys with no transformation. It's like a premium action figure with a ton of articulation, with a lot of gimmick. You can have a clavicle move. They can do the Iron Man crash pose, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. And now they're all going to, that segment of toy design. So now Bandai is following the path with the Metal Build series. You see that kind of stuff. They first engineering with the Tetsujin, Sock Tetsujin, the kind of the that stuff when you you push
Yeah.
Yes. And
you
it,
have
yeah.
that kind of pen with
Yep.
non-organic shape. So it's very amazing. Now it's become a standard. And
Yeah.
now you have speaking about Bandai, they start introducing that kind of stuff with the full action series,
Yeah. I've
tables,
got one of
etc.,
those.
etc. So
Yeah.
that's kind of new standard, and of course you can notice they reduce the size, and you have a kind of premium quality for the different brand, and even in the different line in the same brand, the quality is kind in the premium and collectible can to be uh, very high. So I
Yeah.
bought this year, speaking about the whole in the introduction of the video, I got that three fellas,
Mm.
the Walker Gallia from a Zabungle series. You have that three one. This one came first. We are the Soul of Chogoking one, and then they came with this one. It can transform two in the two vehicles, but the portability, the plane design, animation style, they're also going that way in the high metal collection. Then came this one with the kind of crazy articulation. This one is really crazy into articulation. You have soft. They just put soft material here, but this diecast, it's even more detailed than a stock figure, a sort of Chogoking figure. And the last one is this one. You have a ton of detail, turning wheels, and the articulation is wow, very good.
Are they Sentinel?
Everything is covered. You have no screw on that toy. It's crazy. No pin, no screw. Everything hidden like a Gundam kit, but it's a toy. Really, really good.
Did Sentinel make that?
No, this is Bandai.
It's all Bandai. Okay.
This is iMetal line. They do a lot of macros.
Because that flame toy stuff is Sentinel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's OEM by Sentinel.
Yeah. I have an unpopular opinion on the Flames toys. I owned the Drift for a number of months, and I actually had, and I'm not trying to be an MMC shill, but I had a bigger attachment to this piece. I enjoyed.
He's being a shill.
Shut up.
No, I agree with him. Actually, I've only had hands on for about 2 minutes, but it didn't. The materials, it felt like their first attempt, and it was, and I can't wait to see something.
It felt like Gunpla. It didn't feel like a SOC piece, and
there wasn't enough die cast.
Yeah,
it cost too much.
Actually, hearing that Sentinel is the one that makes that produces the flame toys, it makes a lot more sense, especially if you had seen like the review, like Kuma Styles review, for example, of the Most Pietia Scott Bernard figure, because that had a lot of QC issues of things that were there but just not quite. So that actually makes a lot of sense to me.
And the price point is very. The price point is also very typical of. I mean, Sentinel will sell $500 figures all day.
Yeah,
they'll sell $500. They'll sell $500 6-inch scale figures all day.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately,
I do like Sentinel's like Mega Man products. That's my only experience with them outside of the Flames toys offerings or Flames toy offering that I mess with. I can see why a lot of people like it. The paint was there, the sculpt was there. It's just the materials. You know, when you're marketing something to, and one of the things that I think that MMC does very well with both the Reformat and the Ocular Max lines is they create a product understanding that, you know, it's a transformer and it's something that people want to flip back and forth, and the durability needs to be there. And that's why I had a greater attachment to this Drift. Is it had the look, it definitely had the durability, and MMC, I think they're one of the few players in the game where their transformations are a lot of fun. I own the Calidus mold 5 times over because that's one of my all-time favorite transformations of any product ever.
Yeah, I've only had one product with MMC I didn't care for, and that was the Seraphicus Promicon.
Yeah.
Oh, I never got that.
I like the presentation of it, but it felt dated when it came out. But
now my personal favorite though is still this guy.
Oh, rub it in.
The communist. The communist.
Rub it
in. But I digress.
Rub it in a little way.
So, Mr. Chogoking, can I ask you a question? Yeah. I'm not sure whether it was Mirage. Was it Mirage? I think it was Mirage. On one of the packages for another MMC figure, it's got Chogoking written on it.
All the Ocular Max, they are branded Chogoking for the artwork. I put on the graphic design. I put all the credits on the
of who did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the detail of who is working on what part. For example, on the Perfection series, we have our main engineer and designer AK Alex, who is doing the basic frame because he's very good into transformation. That's his work. He's one of the best at that. Then you have the sculpt. Sculpt part is like you hearing an artist, the designer to bring the base mesh, the mock-up with the transformation, and try to fit the alt mode and stuff, the detail, the spirit of the character, and to try to keep everything consistent from A to Z, because you move a lot of parts, you have a clash, and so you sculpt, you move stuff, you have to change the axis of the pivot because you have to make room. Then it clashes with another part. You have to turn. So it's like a delicious hell. But especially with that guy, it wasn't hell with the arms. The arms was uh, we have a lot of parts into that toys, and you have the all the arms turning to the ceiling of the not the ceiling the floor of the car, and you
Yeah.
have the arm turning into the seat. So wow, the arm is an origami to me. It wasn't hell to design, but
Yeah.
um the yeah about the people involved. You is like it's a team, and we try to split all the task between the people, and sometimes we give advice to another one, we chat, and we try to give the good point to nail the stuff. And even we have a lot of discussion about this TFCon is coming, what can we do, what can we bring. So I try to bring also new ideas. For example, during last TFCon in Toronto, I tried I drew some watercolors of cat call, of black alien. To you can bend and wrap as a sleeve for the box, and I try
Oh,
to
that's cool.
figure new collectible ideas for the collectors. Like I got new stuff coming. You will see on the. I try to pack everything for the next TFCon, and we try to give good idea as a bonus. Even if I have to spend a lot of time with the watercolor, because try to give something very unique
So
with
the buyers that get the collected, the exclusive, get an original piece of art from you as well.
yeah, yeah. And
That's
That's awesome.
amazing. That's
we are
amazing.
also thinking about what can how to push because we are collectors, we like the toys, and what can bring a toy unique when it's a convention, when it's turned to limited, because it's not about just giving a recolor. You have to bring a good packaging, and even you have to give add-ons, but you have to balance the cost of the production. So it's for me, it's kind of new stuff to me to be involved into small marketing stuff, small goodies, small.
Yeah.
I try to brand the perfection service line to be very nice. It's a lot of discussion with the staff, and we try to to be um, focus on the quality, the playability. So that's why in about design, we the main ingredient is always about the playability of the figure. We try to have it very to give a lot of expression. So about Alien, we try to have the best articulation we can get on such a small figure. And but okay, you can say, oh, but the arm, they are so skinny, and look at the butt, is very flat, blah blah blah, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find a lot of stuff. So I also design, for Helion, I have an add-on ready to for production, but I don't want to produce it because it's extra cost. But I designed small parts you can plug on the butt, and also on the waist to give him a more bulky look. But
Oh,
for me, it killed a bit the spirit of the figure, and
Yeah.
it's
Perfect
better to make it
transformation.
like that. It's
Yeah.
a toy. You take it out of the box, you transform, you got flaws, you got qualities, but the playability is here, and when I got the figure from the factory, I was, hey, the weight, the finish. I was very happy because this time I was deeply involved into the design, the the how can I say the conceptualization of how can we
Now,
do so.
a little
It's like
earlier,
it's alive now.
you kind of like talked about if I caught you correctly, you were talking about it fitting in with the older designs and Bumblebee. Uh, when you conceptualize this design, were you looking more so at like what the modern masterpieces are doing? I know the articulation is in keeping with the modern masterpiece figures, but were you more so looking at like the design aesthetics of like what Shogo Hisui had produced?
It's more how can I say it was the challenge was to fit the actual by the past the actual V2 design of the MP line, and also uh, to put a bit of aesthetic from the OX studio design from the Japanese studio. They are, you know, that kind of design with athletic legs, with very dynamic, small heads,
More line work.
very expressive. So, and that's kind of standard is not easy to do in toys because people they like beefy figure with a big head from the back. Here come the Sunbow standard, and they want to flatten, to blow the stuff. And so about say Cliff Jumper, we we were when I worked the design, I had the masterpiece, you know, the masterpiece book, always open to check all the drawing for Takara to say, how can I fit it in this line? It
Yeah.
was really maybe it was like a how can I say? It's like, oh, I have to fit in the MP line. Maybe I was wrong that with that, and I should
Now,
uh, more say, okay, oh, I can fit that toy in our line. You
yeah.
see what I mean?
Right.
And on that topic, before we went live, we were talking about how some folks out there kind of view what third parties do as a theft of an intellectual property. For me, I see it as companies like MMC, Maki Toys, Fans Toys, uh, they're and Bad Cube as well. They're filling in the gaps that exist because Takara and Hasbro don't produce enough masterpiece figures to help us complete our collections. And when you're producing a piece, when we were talking about Magna earlier, I personally, for me, I think that's a great masterpiece scale. Um, I think it fits in with the masterpiece. Now you're talking now with Cliff Jumper, designing it to fit in with the masterpiece figures. I don't think it's a theft of an intellectual property when you're creating something. It's almost like a blue ocean market strategy, right? Where you're creating something that already exists but doesn't exist at the same time.
Um, it's like we are, like you said, we try to insert the character into a global collection, but now we know that a collection of MPs is not insert a character into Takara MPs. Now, when you say MPs, a kind of standard with different brand inside, and even
Yeah, it's
people
more of a scale.
like to collect two characters from different brand and display. Oh, I like the alt mode, so I keep the alt mode from this brand. I will keep the robot from another brand, etc., etc.
A
So
lot of collectors do that.
Mm-hmm.
it's is the big discussion about how they are stealing IPs. It's more, I can say, is not is not is not like we are businessmen, and there is something to there is a lot of money to take with that kind of toy industry. No, we are quite all the same generation of people, and we say, oh, during the 80s, we eat a lot of cartoon, a lot of Japanese cartoon. Transformers came, we were like, oh, what? What? And then the toys, immediately you have the cartoon and the toys. It was new. And say,
Mm,
you know what? My
yeah.
first Transformer story was Mirage. And I loop the passion because I work officially with MMC on the packaging and the artwork and the art direction for this one. So I'm complete now. But you know the about the Transformers. Uh, I think all three P brand they are going in this business because it's now it's time to try to live with our passion about that culture, that toys, and we can bring something uh, premium. We can enjoy now the technology about 3D printing, testing quickly, the prototyping is not like before we you have to cut in wood, then with wax and or kit bashing. No, now you can print the 3D test stuff. So for for passionate people, you can bring the toy you want, and we we uh, we know that a lot of collector people they are waiting. Oh, I like these toys. When I was kid, I had these toys, and Hasbro is not so much focused on bringing back uh, all the characters because they are mostly focused on for about the MP. Sorry, they are focused on licensing. So the
Yeah.
question is, how will Hasbro or Takara will license the Dinobots? They can't. So because they are thinking about margin, so you have to put the label of the car license on the box, and you have to milk the license with a lot of recolors as much as possible, and so is they won't fill the gap. They
Yeah.
they won't have the all license. They won't have all characters. So it's good that we have a lot of brand, 3P brands say, oh, I can do this character because we like these characters and we can bring something very aesthetic with a good design and we push the engineering. So it's
Now,
more a challenge to give a good toy than, oh, I can make money. That's not the question. We don't
now,
make
Mm.
money. We don't make money.
MMC does do a lot of repaints. What's the philosophy behind that? I know, like with pretty much every mold they do, they do quite a bit of either minor retools or repaints.
In the
Um,
reformatted line mainly.
yeah, the reformatted line, yes. And Ocular Max tends to
Yeah,
be,
you have different
now,
colors. Yeah, I know.
I
It's
and again, I do love the recolors here. And even this guy is one of my favorites. So, yeah, I'm a very very big MMC fan. I get that they from the community they get a lot of flack for doing a lot of recolors, especially in reformatted. But is there a philosophy behind that? Are they trying to recoup costs, or is it fan service?
it's it's a balance because when you are producing a toy, it costs a lot. So
Yes.
you have your mold. You can use the mold for a lot of run, but you can have a one, two, three run of a character on the same color. You can sell that. Also, because being 3P, you don't have the global market because
Right.
Hasbro has the global market. They have the huge retailers, so you can sell a run here, here, and that's it. So you have the mold, and you know that you have another character which is the same because it's a recolor. Hasbro did the same during the 80s because they had no choice to make this. How can I say? The molds are expensive, so you have to produce and recolor to have the payback, to to be
The
not
returns.
malicious. Yeah, it's
Yes.
about, and 3P is the same way. You have to you have to I don't have the word, but you have to. It's not about having the benefits, but you have you don't have to lose money. You understand? So you have to think
Oh
about
no,
the
it totally makes
remolds.
sense.
You have to think about the remolds, and also, and of course, it's about the fan service. It's also to because okay, you have this in this color, but you can think about the other colors with different head because Hasbro did the same, and why not
Make a hubcap.
like that? And so, like Mirage, we had a discussion. I say, let's go to the Diaclone homage with the red one. And also, I wanted to have a packaging in Diaclone homage to give a good tribute to uh, that line that Diaclone was on the base of everything in Transformers. So recolors is not for us. Is not about oh we can milk the money. It's not milk the money. It's milking the mold because it costs a lot. So you have to find the good balance of mold cost, uh, cost production, and production cost. Sorry, and giving enough colors of this character, recolor with mold change, etc., etc. Because we can produce old characters with all different molds. It's very difficult. We don't have the strike of a. It's same for other 3P brand. We don't have the same strike, economic strike as Hasbro, Bandai, etc. And see what happens about the Transformers 3P world. How many companies now are in the game? You have to face uh, a company doing the same character as yours, and suddenly another brand coming with the same character. So it's good for the collectors because you have so many choice. But
Absolutely.
as a company, it's like, oh man, should we schedule? So should we not produce? So that's a lot of hard question. And sometimes Takara is in the game, like when they announce the prototype of MP Inferno, it cut a lot of brands with that. 3P brands.
For Hellion,
Even during just to tell you a fact, I can't remember the event, but some people from Hasbro came to a Asian convention, and there was a hoist and trailbreaker showcasing. And they came to took a lot of picture of the toys. So it's a moving world with
That's
inspiration,
that's
etc., etc.
interesting. I
Yeah,
mean, you remember when Hasbro had Gravity Builder featured in their
Their mobile
uh,
game.
yeah, they had that they had that advertisement, and then they had Gravity Builder. Not only they
really.
designed the mobile game, but they had Gravity Builder make their way into the promotion for Transformers. And a friend of mine actually designed
That's cool.
Gravity Builder. Hopefully, we'll have him on next week.
This guy,
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy.
that's a good job.
yeah. My friend Jason was. Oh, I hope I'm not divulging too much information here, but he was the designer of that, and it was interesting when
Yeah, tell him he
it
did a
made
good
it.
job on it.
I'm sure he'd appreciate the
Yeah,
feedback there.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that it's now there is a KO. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of KO third parties coming out, or third party or KOs of third parties, and it's a shame because I think in general KOs are a shame, but when it comes to folks that are working independently to fill in the gaps in our collection, and that's the thing about third parties is my perspective has always been it's a labor of love. It's designers that are looking to fill an obvious hole in the collection, and
Yeah,
that's
there's no one's making millions of dollars off third party. They're it's collectors making it for collectors.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Yeah. T, I know you had a question about Hellion. I have one too, but I want to make
Okay,
sure you
right.
get it.
For Hellion, did you always want it to have interior, or did you give it an interior so it wouldn't have like a big giant backpack like this guy?
Um, the, come again with the question. What?
Like for Hellion,
Yep.
did you always want him to have like the car interior, like the seats and whatnot, and steering wheel, or did you design it like that so that it could have a flatter back?
No, the um, the, this part suffering from the pilot features, but we
Oh.
want to keep the line consistent, and for all vehicles like cars, trucks, we fit a pilot in, but it's such a teeny one, so we don't have the choice to have room, because when you transform, you have this one making
So
uh,
the ab crunch was a huge part of the engineering.
it's a part of the engineering, and the flat butt is part of the design. But the the um, the the, the when we start designing the car, just
Yeah.
to make a turnaround, I took the real Porsche with good pictures of a real Porsche. Then
Mhm.
into Photoshop, I tried to squeeze and start to fit the mock-up of the 3D. We have an early mock-up of a chibi Porsche, but I have to give the details. So I start with a photo bashing of a Porsche to fit in a proportion and try to cut the part just in 2D. Then with the
Hmm.
uh, with with a good proportion, we say, okay, we can start the sculpt. But the intention was to have a good posability, and we are very proud of the transformation, and especially the backpack. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
Yeah.
a very clean backpack.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
reverse and fit a nice one. But it I know it's hard for some people that it's the proportion is like you have a bubble one and then it's very flat here, but you have to find compromise. But mostly you can turn, you can smash, you can bend. It's the playability is good, and that's one of the most important parts. It's a
Yeah,
toy. It's a
I
toy.
haven't been able to play with him yet. How long does it normally take from design to actually having the toy out?
Uh, it depends. On this one, I was very I, I took too much time because I was involved with other projects, so I tried
Mhm.
to move the schedule. So it was really hard for me to focus uh, always on Helium, but mostly for when from scratch. It depends. You can when you have the mock-up, you can spend 2 months, 3 months, 4 months into sculpting. It depends the complexity of the transformation,
Yeah.
and also the size. The size matter. When it's small, it's hard. Then
Mm.
when
Yeah,
you send
you have to
to
make
the factory,
compromises.
when it's yeah. and the pin size, the screw size, everything. Because screw and pins means with small parts, you kind of issue with the when the plastics try to turn
Oh,
white and
stress
stress
marks.
mark.
Yes.
So it's it's like an unlimited riddle and unlimited origami concept.
Hmm.
So, I have an interesting question here. Did you decide that you wanted to do Cliff Jumper, or was it someone from MMC who said we want you to design Cliff Jumper? Who ultimately made that call?
Um, not the no no they proposed me to do cliff jumper. They proposed me and because I was for kind of now it's long time ago. I I was focused on the art direction and the packaging, the artworks, my side job, and then we had some talks about cliff jumper, and I proposed the car to be masterpiece style, but chibi race style. So it was a first for us doing such design
Mhm.
was we were we are really happy of that the result of the halt mode because
Yeah, I
I
love the car
don't have
mode.
a long Porsche and you something annoy me in transformer world is the shape shifting. When I was kid, I was crazy about the shape shifting. So now about Helion, say we can do a small Porsche because the line, the masterpiece line or the Ocular Max line, you try to scale the vehicle, but you can't scale when you have a jet or something. But about cars, you have to scale as you can. So
Right.
the decision say, let's do a kind of hybrid style, a chibi race Porsche, realistic but half in a cartoon about the proportion and half in a realistic proportion.
So it's recognizable on multiple levels. Like you have the penny racer design, and then you also have you're kind of getting the best. The philosophy was like you were getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the Porsche 934, and then you were also getting the penny racer design that the toy was based on.
Hmm. When we I fixed the I lock the design of the car. I had the help from my friend CAD who work at before he worked at Industrial Light and Magic, and he say, "Oh, I can help you on the shell part." So he
So
do
ILM, an ILM asset. That's awesome.
and
That's
for the
actually pretty cool.
reasons he worked on the Transformers 2 movie. He was
Oh,
he sculpted RC and Scrapper.
Wow.
huh.
Yeah,
Wow. So that is legit. That so you've got folks that are actually working in ILM who have worked
On
on
Transformers.
actual Transformers films.
yeah. That's it. It gave me that help because I was very annoyed with some of the detail and he know how to fit the Porsche detail into the gold curve because a lot of different curves and tension. So I'm not a pro car modeler, and he is. So he gave me a lot of help, hint, and he helped me to fit all the stuff back in.
That's a
That's very cool.
pretty
Yeah,
cool
that's
connection
cool.
right there.
He's on the credits on the box. Kind.
That's awesome. And I like that everybody that is involved is on the credits of the box, the Ocular Max series. I think that's a really nice touch. I
Yeah.
also love the fact that the Perfection series looks like kanji. Is it kanji or kanji? Adrian, you
Kanji.
were just there. You go.
Kanji.
It's kanji, but I tried to mimic, not to copy. I tried to mimic the Transformers. The the first book was what the oh man the first box was this one, and I tried to be to I have to plug. Sorry, the batteries. Sorry, the batteries out.
I had to do the same on my headset.
Yeah, I mean, so with sorry, it's pop up everywhere. So I tried to give the for me it was the I tried to give the spirit of a Transformer stories, like because I'm French and we had the Justra line of diagram with the red, the blue.
Oh,
So I try to melt all part of the Transformers packaging and find something good with original artwork from me.
It's so cool.
I've been in love with the artwork of those boxes ever since they've been coming out. I mean,
Yeah.
they really have that retro feel. They have that bulkiness of when we were little kids picking that box off the shelf, and then that brilliant artwork had that great retro late 70s, early 80s feel to it. I mean, that's something you totally captured perfectly. And
That's why we wanted to have the spec with
the
the
tech specs.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
the love is there. The love is there.
Sphinx was my first MMC product, and I absolutely love the packaging.
Mine too.
So
He's my only one so far.
We were not obliged to have the foil here with diecast logo with metal stuff, but I think it's always good to give some premium touch to put the line up.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people they toss the box, they open,
Yes.
they keep the toy and toss the box. But for me, I keep the box.
Yeah, they cost too much to throw those boxes away.
Now,
The box itself is a display piece.
A third question to Adrian. Adrian, when you were in Japan, did you see third party anywhere?
Everywhere. Well, I wouldn't say everywhere. So there were a lot of in Tokyo. I can only speak for specifically. Each store will have its own thing that it sells. So there are about 4 different armies that I went to. They're all you'll have one that does dolls, one that does train shit, one that does anime figures. But the ones that do robots, I'd say 8 out of 10 have third party in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the shelf presence is important when it comes to those boxes. So that's something I've been wondering. Is like in the States, and I guess probably maybe the same in Australia and Europe. We don't have places where third party is sold in brick and mortar, and I guess in the in Asian countries, that shelf presence is an importance.
Yeah, I've seen it in Hong Kong, Japan, and we have a couple of private sellers here, like you guys do too, where if you're lucky enough to live nearby, they'll have some shelves in their garage or whatever. But yeah, I'm always surprised when I get the boxes because usually I buy from China, as you all know, on and on, yada yada. But usually
we are the official podcast of Taobao.
Of Taobao, yeah. But when you buy from Taobao, you don't get to see the box. You only get to see the photo of the figure. So it's kind of like Christmas for me, and I really like, as a guy who also, like Liam, does a bit of artwork here and there, I really appreciate when people put effort into third-party boxes. I think they're dope. Yeah.
So we do appreciate all the hard work you have
Thanks.
Put in there.
I have a controversial question for you, sir.
Yep. Go ahead.
When you picked up, you're holding one of the cassette tapes earlier. When you're next to him.
Yep.
Is that Rumble or Frenzy in your eyes?
This one is Enemy.
Yes.
Enemy.
Yeah.
But for me,
as
a kid, I often saw watching the cartoon the purple one, smashing the grounds. For me, it's noise, it's rumble.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank
Yep.
you.
But for me, it's frenzy, rumble.
I switch them around just to annoy people.
Oh, and you can set them off with that too.
Yeah,
So,
I love
we've
it
had-
in the cafe. It's the best.
We've had a couple of questions in the chat. Do you know anything about the reformatted? And I know you're mostly working on the Ocular Max side. Do you know anything about the reformatted Grimlock, if that's still coming? And do you know if there's any plans for a reformatted IDW inspired
I
Optimus
know where
Prime?
the question about the Grimlock. I know where the question is coming from. Eric, about Grimlock is in production and is coming next year.
Excellent.
Nice.
Sure. I work on Grimlock. I just work on we working in photo bashing on the 3D to move some details, flatten a bit, because the new statement in the reformation is very good. Speaking about drift, you see, on also with Tarn stuff coming very half detail with flattened parts, and for me the balance is good now on the reformatted line. On drift, I just work on a paint job. My idea was to, we have to kill the white, too much plastic white, and we have to bring some small warm parts, like, you know,
The
here
beige. Yeah, I love the
the
beige.
beige. Yeah, we have to bring it more to give a bit warm on the character.
Yeah. I'm a fan
Because
of Lazy Asa, and he's talked about
yeah,
having to
yeah,
make those little tweaks.
yeah, he's giving a lot for the recolors. How can I say? But try to figure out to speak. Yeah, he's more involved into the color scheme to match the spirit of the characters. So that his part, and I'm just coming from time to times on the reformatted line to give some advice, also with the sculpt, with details. But that's not my garden.
Yeah. I think the colors on the drift are wonderful.
Yeah,
I especially love the beige details, the little highlights that are on there. The gold, I think, is that mustard. It's like that mustard gold. I love the way that
yeah,
plays with the other colors.
yeah, because the toy is mostly white and black, so it's hard to manage that two far opposite colors. So you have to bring small details, you have to bring warm parts, etc. And the warm of the beige was to also to reverse the cold from these colors. You see,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, that
you have
metallic
to,
blue is
yeah, that's
it
to
really
make noise.
pops.
I on my Chogoking Facebook, I post a whip of the color process of drift.
Hmm.
I posted a board explaining why I put the colors, etc., etc. But yeah, I'm really every day I'm very surprised by this line,
Yeah.
because at the beginning it was there are a lot of vents, too much details, too squarish, too sharp on edge. Then now I can recognize the line as a good balance with the smooth, with outlines, etc. So now I try to I have now I have a huge display in my animation studio to showcase all the toys, and people are quite amazed by the line.
Yeah, it's a great line. I think one of the things that I love the most is, for a lot of people, I think, and I kept mine, but for a lot of people, I think X Transbots was their first introduction to third party. and they're great display pieces, but they don't have the playability. And I remember when I got my first MMC piece, which was Sphinx, it had the playability, and that's what kind of got me hooked on MMC. Is they're great display pieces, and you can also handle them like it's a toy. It understands what it is. It's not just a display piece. It knows that it's a toy. And I think that's fantastic. I think you're really getting your money's worth in both angles. You have something that looks great on a shelf, and then I regularly take my MMC pieces off of my shelf and transform them back and forth, and they still feel just as good as they did when I took them out of the package.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's we are designing toys. Even we push them to be collectible, to be shelf displayers, but
Yeah.
at the base they are toys. That's why we have to take this with how can I say we have to be serious about fun in those.
Yeah.
You understand?
And I appreciate when you were bringing Hellion out, you weren't just showing us. You were, and for those that are listening on the audio, you weren't just showing us. You were playing with it, and that's a wonderful thing. I think that's why, for us that are fans of Transformers, I know there are some people that want the display element and they want the Flames Toys figures. But for me, the base of Transformers will always be the transformation element. Is it fun? Are they playable figures? Do I enjoy the function of the figure?
Um, yeah, transformation is the magic, in fact, because Transformers are transforming characters, transforming toys, but uh, we try to have the transformation to be intuitive is the word, to be intuitive, because for example, Helion is quite of intuitive, but you have to be care with the thorax, especially with those pin on the clavicle here. So you have to follow the steps, but mostly to transform the legs, you just flip flop flap up, it's done. So
Cool.
so we try to keep this like a standard on the line, to not be too much complicated. But
Or too
sometimes
delicate. Yeah.
some part of the transformer you have to be, this is tricky, but that's okay. It's okay.
There are compromises in everything you do. It's just life.
It's the how can I say? Um, Mostly, I'm displaying my my collection in robot mode. But for example, I have the FT Dinobots, and I love those toys, but I like to have them in Dino mode because
Yeah, same here.
yeah,
Hmm.
That's how you
but
remember them.
yes, and it's like when you have a girlfriend or a wife, you can say, "Oh, those are dinosaurs, not robots." And oh yeah, I like dinos too.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but it's in Dino mode. They are there. It's better to clean the dust.
So we have some questions coming from the chat.
Yep.
If you don't mind answering.
No, no, go ahead.
First off, our friend Antoine, he asks, how far along is the Ocular Max Saltus? If you know the MMC Take One Springer.
It's we are actually coming now, and Sartu is not so far. It's coming very quickly, but we have, how can I say, we have different schedule, and sometimes we have to move forward, and so it's very alive. So, but Saltus is coming. I don't. To be honest, I don't have the schedule on Saltus.
That's
Take
fine.
your time.
The
Take your
focus,
time.
as you can notice, the focus is also on the combaticons.
My
Oh,
boys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My boys.
Yeah, I'm actually holding out for those. I haven't bought any of the Zeta yet because the offerings for Combaticons, the all-in-one transformations, I'm holding out for that.
I saw that
Sounds
blast
good.
off arm. It was gorgeous.
But that's cool to know.
You
Um,
you will trust me. You will be very happy of the every part of the mode: the alt mode, robot mode, and combine mode. We balance it very well. So especially with individual bots, we try to have the different lineup. They are all different in size, but when they turn to limbs, they fit with the good proportion. And we also challenge the transformation with the engineering to not going to path forming. Path forming is okay for us. It's okay to me, but when you can have a full transformation, oh man, it's always enjoyable.
That's
So
probably good.
yeah.
That's probably my most anticipated purchase in the coming years. I'll blatantly say that, and I'm not being the shill.
yeah, I discovered a
Unless you
prototype.
got something better for me.
You can. It worth the wait.
So a couple more questions. The other question is I'm gonna combine two of the questions here. One of the other questions we had is is the current plan for MMC the reformatted line to complete the IDW Transformers?
Oh, if there were, I don't. As I said about reformatted, I don't have the whole overview of it. But
And that's fine. That's fine if you don't.
it's it's like this line is like on cruise, and they try to involve the engineering to push the design, as you noticed, to be very for me, reformatted is like between comics, cartoon, and toys. The balance now is here,
Right.
so
It's not slavish to any
yeah,
of the
yeah.
yeah. And
So
then
that's why you have on the line. You can see you have a different. You can see the progression in the line.
Yeah.
yeah,
Easy.
it's not 100% accurate. Because Shane Briggs also asked if the end of the current IDW run is going to have any effect on reformatted. But I guess if you're drawing from different inspirations, if it's not actually slavish to the IDW material, then I guess that means that reformatted would continue without IDW.
I'm think you it's how can I say it will match the another question you will have later from something I want to reveal, but about reformatted, you can also find a foreground character or even a G1 characters not appearing into the comics. You can say this one can be in the IDW statement, so we can find something.
So
So
it's an aesthetic more than completing a line.
Yeah.
we always try to complete, but yeah, it's about the aesthetic and also that we like these characters and it should have a reformatted ID. So let's try the challenge. But it's not easy because you have fans, you have gunners, you have etc. etc. So, but mostly we try to have a consistent line with a nice lineup. I'm really excited with the forthcoming release, and Grimlock gonna be big. Uh, I don't have the name because I'm not a IDW reader, but the huge one Hifan
Rung?
did the one
Unicron?
with
Unicron?
the rock crusher here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Unicron.
no. He's
Mm-mm.
talking about
DJD.
DJD. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
is it Thesaurus or is I get Thesaurus?
Yeah, I don't have
Thesaurus.
the name, but for me, this lineup is crazy, and I'm also very interested into the combined version from factory is
The
Dextine
the
or
Iron Factory,
the Iron Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
their
yeah,
DJD combiner. That looks great.
yeah, yeah. I will probably get the set because it's interesting out there. The fit, also the design in small scale and bring into a combiner. So it's for me, it's that kind of initiative, that kind of idea is very great because you try to fit the how can you you try to follow the design of an existing design of the story, and you bring something new, you bring something
Yeah.
unique, so it turns
Yeah.
to originality. So about for me it's also a main ingredient into toy designing or in toy production. You have to bring stuff from your own, not just following. So about reformatted, I don't have all the details you need because I'm following a bit far the line and just giving good advice or stuff like that. But this line is try to be very consistent now with the recent design like the drift or Tarn. For me, the big move was done with Tarn, and
Yeah, Tarn's their best.
yeah. So now you can figure out the the next model, the next character will be. You want to bring the even the black one. So you see that we you have enough detail, enough flattened stuff, and as you say before, when it brings to transformation, okay, it's very simple, and you have compact design, no keyboard, and with good aesthetic. So for me, the new statement is that kind of it's a good representation of the statement of the line. You see
Absolutely.
that
They're
models.
beautiful toys. There's no doubt they're beautiful toys.
And we have one more question in the chat. Shane Briggs says, outside of Bruticus, are there any more combiners planned that you can speak of?
Nope.
So I know I know for you it's getting a little bit late. I think it's time. I know you said you had one reveal for us.
Hey, you know what? Sun is coming soon for me.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay. It's okay.
before we have to keep you up too much longer, you know what does MMC have coming that you can speak of?
Okay, so I'm actually working on a character. A character for me is not very popular, and I can show you his reformatted version. So it's Drift. So I'm actually
Yeah.
working on a MP Drift.
Oh, so
Yes.
you're doing the Earth mode drift.
Yeah. So the question is what and how to Earth mode? What is that about? So I can tell you now that we are coming with a new line, Infinity EF line. It's about we gonna take characters who who are they don't which have no Earth mode, and we figure ideas and stuff to bring it alive. So I'm coming with Drift now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's one of my favorite characters. I'm wrapped.
So you will see soon the stuff, but not very soon because I'm still sticking
So
on
are
design.
these going to be characters that will fit in with like the G1 masterpiece, like the same
Uh,
aesthetics?
we try to
or at least the comic gets of it.
Infinity line will be the continuity of the Perfection series, and we will try to have it's all about the topics we had during these talks today. It's about cartoon part, realistic part. So
Very
we
cool.
try to
Cool.
balance and learn from the fandom what they want, but I try to not fall too much in the Sunbow, Sunbow temptation about
Yeah.
big head, crush proportion. For me, it's
No details in the legs.
we try to balance that. So
Yeah.
Try to give
that's
him butterfly joints so he can
Yeah.
so he can hold his sword better.
Articulation.
Yeah.
it's
He-Man
about
is
the
the biggest fan of
it's
butterfly
about
joints.
it's about the clavicle. It's always not easy to fit clavicle, but that's one of my main focus on the articulation stuff to
And
bring
a full knee bend would be nice.
full what? Sorry.
Full knee bend, so the knee going all the way
Yeah.
almost to the butt, like you get in the newer SOC figures. I love that stuff. I love articulation. I think all
If
of
you
us do.
can.
If you can, that's right.
Yeah, I have to fit and lock. So it's a new challenge and it's exciting because it's like being still in the in the past with the G1 the stuff, but also have the liberty now to design new stuff and not being trapped into MP line G1 etc G2 etc. So it's more taking liberty and have a lot of freedom into design, but always fit the character because Drift is have a huge and big character, so you can mess with that. So he will have swords, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Cool.
More Transformers with swords are dope. I love that.
So this is coming not soon, but not so far.
Maybe maybe we'll see something in 2019.
Yeah, starting 20, you will have some stuff.
Neat options. Neat options.
Yeah.
So like the TFCon 2019 reveals, we might see something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe it's not a no.
Infinity is IF, so if.
Ah,
We got that
clever.
exclusive here. We've got the new line from MMC that we'll be hearing about soon. That's very cool.
Yeah. We try.
Very, very cool.
I will try to not have all the models with flat butt. I'm joking about the flat butt. For me, it's just a dynamic one.
We have one request. Our
Yep.
friend of the show, Antoine. He says he says he'd love for you to make Runabout and Run Amok.
Ooh, battle Chargers.
Yeah, and they're not too far off from that mold from Cliff Jumper.
Yeah, but each time you have to think about a new transformation and new shape design. So, but about those, they are. I have ideas, but it's not on my skill. But maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now you can understand. I can reveal too much what we are cooking now, but
Understood.
Drift is something, and it's a good tease now to give you the information. But we have
appreciate it.
a lot of stuff
yeah.
in the work, and you will be very surprised by the alt mode.
Can't wait to see it.
I just prefer saying Drift is coming, and just wait for the alt mode.
Okay.
And Antoine's still grilling here. He says, "Is there anything you can reveal for exclusives for TFCon Toronto? Or I'm sorry, TFCon Chicago."
No.
Let the man sleep, Antoine. Let the man sleep.
Yeah.
I can't, but I try to find time to give some good bonus stuff for the exclusive.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I always love the MMC exclusives. I own pretty much all of them, and
Yeah. I'm also thinking about preparing a book about the collection for OX line with the artwork, with the design, with the sketches. But
That's cool.
it's
That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I'd be
time.
on that. That'd be awesome.
I'd take
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah.
Probably a book with the idea I have is two kind of books, soft cover, hard cover, and maybe a portfolio version, that kind of box it's a computer one, but it's
yeah,
box you
Like
open
print.
and you have the print because when I was in TFCon, I showcased the artwork the just for people to consult, but I was like this: people can
Ooh.
go to the table and consult the artworks, but people say, "Hey, can I buy those?" But no, it's just a numeric print to showcase. And I figure, okay, maybe it can be good to a
I think
nice
it'd be
book
amazing.
for the collectors and
Yeah.
etc. So I don't know how because I will handle that project myself to not bother MMC team with that because we have too much stuff to do. So I will
yeah.
take time to produce that part.
More of a
But
passion project.
maybe a Kickstarter can be good to for that kind of project because I don't know. I have to think about that one.
Mm.
But I think having a nice book, artwork book, can be nice. I have to. I really
I'm
want
with you on that.
to have that one. Yeah.
I agree.
Very cool. Well, you heard it here first. All right. Well, I think that answers pretty much everything. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. Before we close
Yeah,
out,
it's a pleasure.
anybody else? Yeah, it was a huge pleasure for us.
It was
Before we
amazing.
close out, anybody else on the panel have any more questions? I think we got the chat. Shane Briggs in the chat says he would totally be in for the book. So get some
I
words
think
of
everybody
encouragement.
wants that book.
Yeah.
We like
T,
looking at Transformers.
Dave, Parts, you guys have anything else?
Let the man sleep.
I
People
think
who
I think he
I
has a
don't have.
well-deserved night of sleep ahead of him. I want to thank Chogoking for joining us tonight.
Yep.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure,
Very
guys.
much, man.
I'm
Nice
going to
to
go play with
meeting you
Sphinx
because
after this.
you kind of new guys to me. So nice to meet you. It was a
Yeah,
nice
it's a
talk,
pleasure.
and try to connect with people to just to have feedbacks and also to share because
Yeah.
I'm also admin of Robo Japan boards. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's my part for the sock and stuff. So
Nice.
full of Chogoking and Poppy stuff. So try to have both fit in a TF world and a super robots world, and
I'll have to check that out. 'Cause
yeah,
like Adrian, I'm big into it as well. I have a lot of SOC figures outside of Voltron, outside of Gold Line Voltron. I've got Gal Gar, Goldie Marg. I've got the Gypsy Danger that they released. Big O. I absolutely adore the SOC line.
yeah,
and I'm all about the Go Nagai designs.
Yeah.
yeah, now it's getting more and more famous with the Mazinger stuff and stuff like with
Yeah.
the new movie and and when I was in I work for animation studio and I also saw a lot of uh, project about Mazinger and they try to push the license more and more visible. So
I
that's
want more
good.
SKL.
Yeah. Okay. Well. So hope I did answer all of your question. I try to
You're
have
perfect.
Most
my
definitely.
English good for the internet, but
Your English is
great,
better
man.
than our French. Thank you
Yes,
very
exactly.
Yeah, that's for
Way
sure.
better.
ouais,
Yeah.
complètement. J'entends pas beaucoup de français. Hein.
No,
Parlez no français.
none.
Ouais.
I'm not even gonna try.
I think Dave is our best link here.
So
Alright,
if people have a question later, they can post the question on your YouTube in YouTube comment. I will try to answer. Also connect through your Facebook page or my Facebook, so it's easy to exchange.
well,
Perfect.
Thank you for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And where do we find you on Facebook, bro?
The page is like Toys and Robots. Facebook
Toys and
slash
Robots.
Chogoking. If you type
Chogoking.
Chogoking, you will recognize the C logo.
Well, there you go. You've already taken care of where you're at.
Yep.
We'll go down the line and figure out where the rest of the crew where we can connect with you for our listeners. Adrian, if people wanted to find you, where can they get you at?
Here every for me Saturday morning, for you guys Friday nights, and in the groups somewhere, Adrian Arium, I guess. But yeah, I'm not online all that much.
There we go. True Star Screamer, where can people find you at? And remind the folks listening about the contest you're running.
Of course. Once again, of course, when I'm not dodging hurricanes down here in North Carolina, I am on Instagram at True Star Screamer, and that is with a TRU, as well as on the Facebook groups under David Lutwack. And of course, I am hitting Instagram every other day now. We are running a contest to get this Deadpool fully loaded, mint and sealed box. Tag me your action figure pictures with hashtag Figure Action Podcast. Just cool stuff. It can be photoshopped. It can be ACBA. It could be just a display of figures. There was a fantastic X-Men layout that has the tag on there. And you guys, the only other person I've seen on there aside from myself has been T-Man. We got to show him up. So this Deadpool needs a home. It can be yours.
I'm gonna win.
My favorite Marvel Legends to date, and I think if you're out there listening, post your best figure, even if it's Deluxe Baldwin holding one on the bathroom stall. I'd love to see that. Matt, if you're listening, we love you. And speaking of Matthew Deluxe Baldwin, who is one of the co-founders of the show, we want to wish him a very happy birthday tonight.
Happy birthday!
He's out celebrating with his lovely wife seeing The Predator, so I hope he is having a fantastic time.
Probably got a well-done steak, too.
He probably did. Mr. Parts Former, where can people find you at?
I am on the Twitters as Partsformer. I am on this group and the Instagram and as Partsformer. And then next week you'll find me on the Nintendo Switch Online as Partsformer. So.
Oh! Did you the new development here? You bought a Nintendo Switch?
When it came out.
Oh
yeah, you had one.
You're friends with me on it, Zero. Come on, man.
I am.
He has to get a PS4. The PS4 is what he doesn't have.
Yeah, PS4.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
Everybody should know where to find internet famous
T-Man 978.
Wow, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But if they don't know, where can they find you at?
You can find me here asleep in a couple of seconds.
Oh.
Sorry. But YouTube on my personal channel, T-Man978. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, Tumblr. What else am I on?
Jesus.
He's on everything. WordPress.
Yes, WordPress.
MySpace. He's the only person doing toy reviews.
Black Planet.
Black Planet.
I'm not on Black Planet anymore.
anymore.
No, wait.
World Star, Grinder.
Yeah. I hope I never end up on World Star. Good night. Especially if I'm on the other end of the beating.
Oh boy.
But how about you, Jordan? Where can we find you?
As for me, you can find me here every Friday night with this band of characters. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero. You can find me in the Facebook groups as James Jordan. You can find me on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live as Extra Zero, as well as Instagram. It's still a private account, but I'm going to get some figure photography going one of these days. Maybe I'll do that despite T-Man and get myself a second Deadpool, and then he can go to my work and be desk pool. But we want to thank everybody who watched, who listened, who participated in the live chat. Tonight we had Mr. Matthew Deluxe Baldwin, who we already wished a very, very happy birthday. We had Shane Briggs. We had Antoine Lewis. We had Lucas Brockelman, E.R. Smiths. And we want to thank all those folks. And make sure Stephen Brent as well, Leaf Connor. We want to thank all the folks who participated. TKO Podcast.
Glad you got power, Stephen.
Everybody.
He's an NC guy.
Yes. Very glad that the folks in the Carolinas did not get as impacted as they were. And we want to thank everybody who participated in the live chat. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you here next week. We're going to have a great show for you with another very special guest. Thanks. Huge shout out to Chogoking for joining us tonight. It was a very fantastic experience.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. We look forward to seeing you all next week. Be safe, be happy, and keep collecting. Take care, everybody.
Bye.